Hi friends, and welcome back to Bipolar Talks, your mindful space for real conversations about bipolar disorder, mental health, and the everyday struggles we often don't talk about. I'm so glad you're here. Before we get into today's deeply personal story, I'd love to invite you to like, comment, subscribe, and share this video. Your support really helps this community grow, and you never know who might need to hear this today. So let's settle in for an honest chat. Today's topic: lifestyle choices that made my bipolar worse, even while on good meds. In this episode, Alia opens up about the 4 lifestyle choices that worsened her bipolar disorder, even while she was on the right medication. From lack of sleep to alcohol, social pressure, and more. This honest reflection sheds light on the subtle habits that can destabilize mental health and trigger bipolar episodes. Whether you're navigating your own journey with bipolar 1 or 2, supporting someone who is, or just curious about how everyday choices affect mental wellness, this episode is for you. You know, for the longest time, I believed that once I found the right medication for my bipolar disorder, everything would just smooth out. That life would finally be normal again. And medication did help a lot, but it wasn't the whole answer. Even after I got on what I call my miracle mood stabilizer, I still found myself struggling. I was still cycling through depression and mania more than I should have been. And that made me pause and reflect. What was I doing, even unintentionally, that could be working against my healing? That's what we're going to dive into today. Have you ever felt like something invisible is blocking your recovery, even though you're doing the right things? Let's unpack that together. Lifestyle choice 1. Staying up too late. This was probably the biggest one for me. I used to be such a night owl. Back in my 20s, I loved going out. Clubs, bars, late-night hangouts. It was exciting. Sometimes I'd stay up till 4 or 5 in the morning, just living in the moment. Even when I wasn't out, I'd stay up watching TV, scrolling my phone, or doing random things until midnight or later. It felt harmless at the time. After all, who hasn't stayed up too late? But for me, living with bipolar I disorder, lack of sleep wasn't just about being tired the next day. It was like throwing my brain off a cliff. My sleep schedule was all over the place, and my mood reflected that. I truly believe this was a major reason I kept experiencing mood instability, even with medication. How's your sleep routine been lately? Could your body be asking for more rest than you're giving it? Lifestyle choice 2. Drinking alcohol. Let's talk about alcohol for a second. I wasn't a heavy drinker. I wasn't even what you'd call a frequent drinker. I'd have 2 or 3 drinks when I was out with friends, and only socially. Never alone, never at home. But even that amount made an impact. I'd be more tired the next day. My sleep would be disrupted. Sometimes I'd wake up feeling emotionally off, like something was misaligned. And while I didn't always connect it to drinking at first, over time I noticed the pattern. There are studies that show alcohol can increase mood cycling in people with bipolar. And honestly, that rang true for me. Now, I'm not saying everyone with bipolar needs to quit drinking. Everyone's different. But in my case, even light drinking was enough to tip the balance. Do you notice emotional shifts after drinking, even just a little? It might be worth paying attention to. Lifestyle choice 3. Occasional marijuana use. This one might surprise you. I've only smoked marijuana a few times in my entire life. It was never a big part of my routine. But once, after getting on my new, effective mood stabilizer, I casually mentioned to my psychiatrist that I had smoked weed recently. His reaction was immediate. He told me, very clearly, that for people with bipolar, marijuana can actually be dangerous. It can trigger both mania and depression, depending on how your brain reacts. That shocked me. I had no idea it could interfere like that. And since I only used it occasionally, I decided right then, I'm done with this. There's no reason to take that kind of risk, even if it's only once in a while. Have you ever heard that cannabis could affect bipolar symptoms? It's not talked about enough, but it's worth exploring with your doctor. Lifestyle choice 4. Social circles that didn't support my healing. This one was painful. I had a group of friends who were kind, funny, and fun. They liked to go out, drink, and stay up late, just like I did. At first, it was amazing to be part of that world. But once I started realizing how those activities were harming my stability, I began pulling back. That didn't go over so well. I felt pressure, subtle but real, to keep being the fun friend, to stay out, to drink, to be who I used to be. The truth is, even though these were lovely people, we were in different places. And the more I tried to prioritize my health, the more distance I felt. Eventually, those friendships faded. It hurt, but it was also necessary. Your environment matters. The people around you matter. And if your community can't support your healing, sometimes you have to make space for new energy to enter. Have you ever outgrown a friendship for the sake of your mental health? It's one of the hardest and bravest things we can do. The one lifestyle choice that helped my bipolar, meeting Brian. Now for the good part. Around the time I was learning all of this, how my choices affected my mood, how I needed more stability, I met Brian. He's now my husband. Brian wasn't into partying. He wasn't into drinking or late nights. He just wanted to be with me, to spend time doing low-key things and to support whatever I needed for my health. That kind of stability was exactly what I needed at that moment in my life. And I didn't even realize how deeply healing that could be, to have someone who didn't question my limits, but embraced them. Today we have a daughter, and I'm still on that same mood stabilizer that changed everything for me. Is there someone in your life who helps you feel calm, seen, and safe? They are a gift. Treasure them. Final reflections. What I learned. So here's what I've learned after all these years. Medication can help, but lifestyle matters too. Things like sleep, drinking, weed, and your social circle. They're not just background noise. They shape your brain. They either support your healing or slowly pull you backward. And if you're on meds but still struggling, don't beat yourself up. You're not failing. Maybe there are just a few puzzle pieces out of place. You have permission to protect your peace. You have permission to make changes, even hard ones, in service of your stability. What's one small choice you could shift today to better support your mind? Start there. Thank you for listening. And let's stay connected. If this story resonated with you, please take a moment to like, comment, subscribe, and share this episode of Bipolar Talks. You never know who else might need to hear this message today. And remember, this video is for informational purposes only. Please always consult with a qualified mental health professional before making any changes to your treatment or lifestyle. You are not alone. Thank you for being here. See you in the next one.